It is quite sickening seeing those within, mainstream media, various liberal pundits, people like Ellen DeGeneres trying to more or less whitewash the horrible, horrible things that happened under George W. Bush's 2 terms in the Oval Office, both here domestically as well as abroad. Let's not forget the war on terror. The Iraq War was started under his watch. Okay, so this is from Alan McLeod, Mint Press News. Because George W. Bush, guess what, is coming out with a book about immigration. George W. Bush, the 43rd president of the U.S., has announced he is releasing a new book called Out of Many, which will celebrate America's diversity and immigrant populations. Quote, "Our immigrant heritage has enriched America's history. It continues to shape our society. Each generation of Americans of immigrants brings a renewal to our national character and adds vitality to our culture. Newcomers have a special way of appreciating the opportunities of America, and when they seize those opportunities, our whole nation benefits," the former president said. Again, it's people in the media, people like Ellen DeGeneres, the Obamas, praising George W. Bush, even though he has literally hundreds of thousands of dead Iraqi civilians' blood on his hands, minimum. Yeah. So, this tweet, man, this George Bush rebranding is amazing. It's almost like he wasn't the Donald Trump of his days, right? Just with a more laid back, veneer, and just was a little more cloaked with his racism and xenophobia and anti-immigrant rhetoric and policies. Both Bush and his father claimed they did not vote for Trump in 2016, leading to delight from many Democrats. Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, for example, yearned for here you go, Pelosi yearned for a bygone age, admitting to wishing Bush were still president, even though she described him as a total failure in every aspect of government. So complete was the rehabilitation of the figurehead of the Iraq and Afghanistan wars. He was embraced and praised by liberal talk show host Ellen DeGeneres, as I pointed out at the start of this video again. Pelosi, Obama, Ellen DeGeneres, etc. It's disgusting. Here Alan McLeod lays it out very well. DHS, Department of Homeland Security, as well as ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, were created under the George W. Bush administration. The same DHS, the same ICE that has been just terrorizing, migrants in this country, as well as terrorizing those protesters down in Portland. I mean, it's disgusting. Like, get a fucking grip of yourselves, people who are trying to rebrand Bush as some, gentle soul or whatever. You're fucking ridiculous. I mean, your total disdain for his actual record and how he laid the groundwork for the war on terror, creating ICE, creating DHS, the Iraq War, hundreds of thousands of dead Iraqi civilians. I mean, for fuck's sakes. And then look at this. Meanwhile, at the beginning of the pandemic, ICE launched a huge drive to flood the streets of sanctuary cities with officers to arrest as many undocumented immigrants as possible. I've gotten frantic texts from people that are spotting ICE in New York City buildings knocking on doors. They are terrified. Again, ICE was created under George W. Bush. Same with the Department of Homeland Security. And just think about how completely dystopian and disgusting to have a Department of Homeland Security. Department of Homeland Security. Like, it's messed up. Yep. After the militarization of the U.S.-Mexico border that began after NAFTA decimated the Mexican working class, ICE became the main weapon used to pacify the immigrant population. Again, ICE implemented under George W. Bush's administration. It's disgusting. This war criminal should have been tried in the fucking Hague, along with Cheney, Rumsfeld, all them fuckers. Increased the militarization of the Mexican border. Between 2001 and 2017, border security funding more than doubled from $4.6 billion to $10.4 billion. Again, if you actually want to, I don't know, help out the people that are trying to migrate to the U.S., maybe don't institute things like NAFTA, as Alan McLeod pointed out, decimated the Mexican working class. For example, U.S. farmers were able to dump, GMO corn on these, into these Mexican markets, and they weren't able to compete. They go out of business. You have no prospects. Where are you going to go? You're going to migrate to somewhere because the economic prospects have, dwindled in your country because of the U.S.'s trade policy. Bush bragged about greatly increasing the U.S.'s detention capacity for migrants, using drones to patrol the area and building 700 miles of fencing and wall, which served as a stepping stone to Trump's border plans. I mean, Jesus, yeah, it's just fucking... Bush is trash. Anybody trying to rebrand him, you're sympathizing with a literal war criminal who lied to get the U.S. into the war with Iraq, started the war in Afghanistan, still in both places, right? And created DHS, ICE, totally escalated the surveillance and security state that we live in. And anybody trying to whitewash his image, you should be ashamed of yourself. He's horrible, just like Trump, just like Obama was.